Hello, Takeset. Thank you so much for taking the time today to speak with us. First of all, we're going to speak about your season 2024. You've already played for Solary before. You had a very brief journey with foot esport at the start of last year. So, how do you explain first this back and forth moves?
Yeah, so in 2023, I came from Prime League in 2022, and I really wanted to play in LFL because I thought it was the best URL, and I thought it was where I could improve the most. And Solary gave me the offer, and I thought the roster was good, so it was kind of obvious to me to go there. Uh, we did playoffs twice, but we got 3-0, so it wasn't the greatest year, but I still learned a lot. And then in 2024, I had the option to go again, but I was hesitating a bit because I thought that what I needed maybe was to get results more than like. Of course, I still needed to improve, but I thought results would maybe help me more in my career. So at first, I was supposed to join Supermassive with like Skeens, having a lot of Jack Troll, a lot of French people know them. Um, but then because I think there was a change in the ERL rulebook about
Mhm.
residency, so Blue, the Belgian mid laner, he didn't count as a Turkish resident.
Mm.
So they had to get 180 carries. So then I got replaced last second, and then I just thought a split off wouldn't help me too much. So I just took whatever option I could. So I went to foot, and then I was lucky enough that Solary was looking for an 80 carry again in summer split, and again it was like kind of obvious to me to go back there since I feel like by now it's my home kind of. So
So that's what convinced you to go back because it's good to be home.
yeah, also I thought I could do something with the roster. I guess maybe I couldn't in the end, but I knew DK from 2022, and he also convinced me to come back. And the fans are always really nice here, even when you're winning or losing. Like you always get a lot of support. So yeah, I also want to give something back to the club for showing trust in me for like 2 years. So
You made a pretty good summary of last year, but what personal assessment do you make of last season?
um, I think I learned a lot actually. I had a lot of individual session with our assistant coach Nias, who's in Heretics ADC now. And I think he taught me what I was kind of lacking in my role to become like a really good AD carry, which was dealing a lot of damage basically. Uh, and it felt really rewarding for me because it's a stat you can track really easily, right? It's just numbers on your screen. So I just saw the numbers went up a lot from like one split to another. So I felt like I improved a lot in that aspect. Um, I think maybe the like global view on me as a player was not as good in 2024 as in 2023. But like I think for myself and my coaching staff and my teammates, like I think everyone could see like I had like way more impact in 2024 than in 2023 because I actually did what my role is like kind of supposed to do, which is deal damage and carry the game. So even though we didn't go playoffs, for me it was still a big success because I improved the most I did in one split in my whole career. So
So we're gonna talk right after about the ADC role, but first, have you changed anything in your way of working for 2025 and the upcoming season?
um, I think before I was always focused like a lot on myself to like make sure I was like always in a good state in the game and how I can like make the best of my role. But I think now I'm also like focused a lot, and I think also the game forces you to do it. Um, I'm focused like a lot on the map and like how I can like impact the map, and but not only myself. Like how do we win the game instead of me just being able to like carry the game. So I think now I'm like more focused on the big picture rather than just myself, if that makes sense.
So we are talking about next season. First of all, there are a lot of changes in the game in League of Legends and the map, especially. Do the changes in the map force you to see the game differently?
Um, I would say yes. For me, first of all, I think crops are still very strong. They didn't get nerfed, and a team that is good at playing macro and tempo, they can really use these grubs to accelerate the game. So you need to like constantly think like there were like a lot of swaps for grubs, right? But sometimes like they can swap, but you don't want to swap, but maybe you have to match because they are swapping. Like it's a lot of mind games, and you constantly have to think every time you base or even before you base. Uh, so I think in that aspect it's the same as last year, but now there's also like there's the Drake still, there's Grubs, Herald spawns a bit later, there's Atakan, and I think Atakan
Mhm.
is really unique because now you have an objective on like either bot or top instead of usually like every objective is always around mid kind of like you
Mhm.
want the mid prio usually and then you move into the objective. But now I think you can be a bit more creative with this one because it's on either bot or top. Um, so yeah, I think in that sense, like all the players for like 15 years or something, I don't know how long League has been out, like you have like a completely new way of playing the game and it forces you to think differently. So I think it's really healthy and also refreshing.
You're talking refreshing and everything. What was your favorite season in League of Legends? It could be this one actually, but any other season that you liked?
Um, I'm not sure. I think last season, season 14, AD carry was very, very broken. I realize now because AD is like kind of bad compared to what it used to be. But back then I wasn't as good as I am now. So I think last season was pretty healthy, and I also liked season 7 when there was the Atteindre meta because
Mm.
everything was around bot lane. So I wasn't that good back then, but it was really fun to be like the center of the game every game.
Which champion do you feel most comfortable, sorry, with this season?
Mm, usually for me, I'm like pretty good at the meta champs always because if I play something a lot, I'll become good on them. So usually it's just whatever is in the meta. Like
What are your favorite champion? If you had to name like three champions in the all League of Legends pool that you really like.
okay, I think first is Draven because I kind of climbed with him to high elo at first, so he has a special place for me. And then I think Kai'Sa and Zeri are my two out of three. Like I think maybe I like them more than Draven, but since Draven was like my first champ, kind of like I have to put him first. But I think
There's
Kai'Sa and
always some
Zeri,
nostalgia and everything.
yeah, exactly. But I think Kai'Sa and Zeri, like you can be so creative, you can do a lot of stuff on your own. There were in the past a lot of different builds you can go on them, and yeah, I think they're just always really fun to play. When they're in the meta, I'm really happy always.
Well, concerning now the ADC role, how do you see the importance of the ADC role at the start of the new season? You were talking about Atakan, which can create a lot of move around bot lane. So even if ADC is less important, maybe less buffed than last year, how do you see your role?
I think one of the best things you can do right now as an AD carry or bot lane is to win your lane and like have control, because as you said before, like with all the new objectives, like if you have a winning bot lane, it makes it like way easier to get grubs, for example. And with grubs, you can like snowball the game very hard if you're a good team. So in my opinion, like even though AD carry is not like the strongest it has ever been, there's still two people bot. So if you can make two people kind of useless and like you and your support like pretty strong and just like secure the objectives for your team, I think that's kind of an AD carry's job right now. Of course, some games you still have like hyper carries like Jinx, like AD carry being the center of the comp. But I think in most games you'll see from the start of the season you'll see like strong laners being picked, and you just play for objectives kinda, and you win that way instead of just Jinx running in with 3 items, pentakilling everyone like last season.
That's good also. Well, would you personally rank yourself compared to the other ATC in the upcoming season of the LFL?
Yeah, I think there's actually a lot of good AD carries in the league next year. Maybe the most like it has ever been for AD. And I was talking today with my teammates. Like there was the Solary tier list where I was 7th, I think. And I think like from an external point of view, it like makes sense because I think you could argue that the the ones above me, like they either all have been in LEC or should have been. Like some people were in EU Masters finals and stuff. So I think like from objective external POV, it makes sense to like put me a bit lower. But I think for myself and probably also my teammates, I would put myself like probably in at least top 3 or something, because I think, as I said, I learned a lot last split about like the main thing about my role, which is dealing damage, which I wasn't really doing before. So yeah, I think I can bring a lot of good stuff, and I'll put myself in top 3 probably. Maybe it's cocky, but it's my opinion.
You were talking about Solary putting you 7 out of 10. How do you feel regarding your employers ranking you like this?
Mm, I don't take it too badly, honestly. Like as I said before, if you just put your own team like first place in every single role, it's like it doesn't matter as much, you know. But uh, as I said, like there are a lot of good AD carries, and objectively speaking, like you could argue that they are better than me because they got better results probably most of them. But yeah, I don't take it too badly. Like for me, the most important has always been what do I think of myself, and next, what does my team and coaching staff think of me? And regarding that, I have a lot of confidence, and I know my team has a lot of confidence in me as well. So, and also like we scrimmed some of the LFL teams. I can tell you that list. Maybe it's not that accurate after all.
You mentioned just before some ADC that could have been in the LEC. Do you see that as a personal challenge and maybe additional motivation to perform in the league?
Yeah, I think when there are some AD carries that have been looked on from some LEC teams, if you perform well versus them, then obviously those teams will see as well. And I think, as I said earlier, like uh, one of the big reasons I want to join LFL was that I thought I could improve the most here. And now on the same time, you can like also if you like beat the best in ERL, you probably also have a higher chance of going ADC than if you beat like some players or teams that are less good than the best in ERL. So I think it's like always really nice to have like good competition. It forces you to improve yourself every day. So I think it's best this way. Yeah.
You ranked yourself in the top three ADC in the LFL. Who would be the two others on the top with you?
I think Hansandi is one of them, and then I'm not too sure. Exakick didn't play for a while, or 3XA, sorry. uh, I thought he was pretty good when he was playing in LFL himself, but he didn't play for a while, so I'm not sure. And I think, yeah, it could be. I think like Comp when he was in Rogue, like 2 years ago, he was very good. Maybe he'll come back to his form. I think Kidui on a good day can be one of the best AD carries. And I think Yopa, his playstyle is a bit different from most ADCs, I would say, but he's good at like his style. So I think like even for myself, like I think top 3 ADs in LFL, it could be anyone kind of depending on a good day or a bad day. So yeah.
What's your opinion on your duo with Mersa?
I really like it. I think I can feel that he played in ADC. There were a lot of basic things I didn't really need to discuss with him because he already knew. And he has like a good idea of how to play the game. Sometimes I'm like maybe a bit too aggressive, and he's like keeping me in check because he's like thinking about the game a lot as well in game. And yeah, I think just we're like discussing the game a lot and watching the game, talking about our laning phase and stuff. And I think we're like kind of on the same page about how we need to do in order for our team to win the game. So yeah, I really like it, and he's a nice guy, and it's really easy to work with. So yeah, there are no problems, kind of.
What does Mersa and you, of course, that Stillback and Mercedes didn't?
Mm. I think Mersa is talking more in game, and I think he has like a pretty good view on like champs and team comps and stuff. Like sometimes maybe a support, or it could be anyone, like they pick too much for lane without thinking about like the game, because uh, you in the end at the end of the day you need to kill the enemy nexus to win the game, right? Not to win your lane. So I think he's like very focused on that, and also he's just you can tell he's smart about the game. Like you, as I said before, like with the grubs and stuff, you need to think a lot about it in the game, even if you have it yourself or if enemy team has it. So like I would say he's just like constantly making sure everyone is like thinking or asking questions like in order to win the game. Basically, I think he's just a good support to help you win the game.
Do you think that if Mersa had joined mid-split in 2024, the team would have performed, sorry, much better?
Mm, I really like Mirtus as a person, so it's nothing personal, but I think so. Yeah, I think Mirtus at the start of the split, he wasn't really like ready to play how we wanted to play. I think in the second half of the split, I think he was. We lost some games for other reasons, in my opinion, but I think from like the start of the split, it would have been easier with Mersa because he could like I think he could integrate himself into the team, and in the team we kind of needed someone that talked a lot since no one was really doing it, and Mutus is not really the most vocal player in game, and Mersa is talking way more. So I think it would have been easier, yeah, to get a better result.
We're going to discuss now a bit more about you. Last June, you reached the top one EU West ahead of Callis, who was the favorite at the time. How did it feel to be at the top of a region?
It was really nice actually. It has been my goal for many years to get rank one. I think I got some help with AD carry being very strong in the meta. But yeah, it felt really nice to just like show that on paper like you are the best European player at playing solo queue. So it was like a big achievement for myself, and I think for me like when I've done something once, it gives me confidence that I can do it again. You know, like or for example, if I play versus a certain good AD carry in LFL, if I've beaten him before, like I can tell myself I've managed to do it once, I can do it again. You know. So yeah, it felt really insane. At first, I couldn't really believe it. Actually, it
I
was
did it.
yeah, exactly. Like I just remember like I was close like for a few days, and I was just being run down every game. It was so boring because like you lose one game, and if you won it, you get like extra LP instead of losing LP. So it was really frustrating. I got very mad in some games, but once you finally got it, like it felt really nice.
In December, you mentioned taking part in tryouts with GX.
Yeah.
Okay. And well, I did go well. No,
I would say it went okay. It was my first ADC tryout ever. I think it was my best day, but I think I also showed some good stuff. We played versus FlyQuest, who were scrimming for Wells, so they were obviously full tryharding, and they were the best team of NA probably. They got Genji to 5 games, so obviously I didn't expect to 5-0 them. But I think I was able to show why I deserved at least a tryout. Uh, but I think it's also fair that they took Noah over me. I think Noah's a really good AD carry, so yeah.
regarding your entire career at Solary, what's your best memory with them?
Oof. Probably playing on stage in Nice in 2023. The crowd was so crazy. The weather was good. The event was nice. It was fun to meet everyone. Like I just feel like when you're at offline events, like you really feel the energy, and it makes me happy that I can make other people happy, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
people are like smiling and finding joy because we perform well as a team. It makes me really happy to like you see it in person and you can't really believe it at first. So yeah, I would say generally the offline events, but I think especially Nice in 2023 was very very good memory.
And your best memory in general since you've become pro?
Oof. Uh, I think one of the best ones for sure was winning our first best of five in playoffs in Schalke in 2022. It was 3-2 we won, so it was game 5, and I just remember I was playing with Isman DK. Most French people know them probably. We were just like screaming in the whole room, and like we were so happy because it was like really important. It was in summer split, and it was a hard best of 5, and yeah, we just managed to do it in the end, and we played well and everything. So also the year hadn't been the easiest, so it felt really nice to like win a best of 5, and yeah. you just felt the joy in the room, kind of.
Considering what you said earlier in this interview, you rank yourself pretty good in the LFL. How do you see your future? Do you think you can improve enough to become a top European player, or do you feel like you've hit the maximum maybe, and you're aiming for the top of the EIL?
Yeah, I think I still am able to become one of the best. I think AD carries are actually like pretty good right now in Europe, both in ERL and ADC. I think what I need right now is kind of just to win in ERL, and then I think maybe I'll have a shot in ADC, and I think I can do well. So my goal is still to become the best, obviously. Like I think if your goal is not to become the best, then it's a bit pointless to play or to compete. And I think I can do it. And for me, as long as I believe it myself, then I can make it happen. The moment I myself think that I can't do it anymore, then it's doomed. So yeah, for me, I still aim to be the very best, and I think I can be.
To finish this interview, some of the questions I asked you today were given to me by the Solaris Ultra, so they really wanted to ask this question. Do you have some last words, maybe for them? It's up to you.
Sure. I want to say thanks to the fans. As I said earlier, like it really makes a big difference for a player to have support, no matter if you're winning or losing, because obviously you always want to win and give something back to the fans. As I said before, it feels really insane that people's mood change depending on how you perform. So you want to always like give people joy if you can. Uh, but yeah, since I joined Solary 2 3 years ago, I never received, at least I don't think I received like too much hateful comments. And yeah, I just want you to know that maybe you don't always feel like it makes a big difference for players to show support, but it really does, and it's what keeps me and a lot of people going probably. So yeah, just keep being you, and thank you for being one of the best, if not the best fan base in League of Legends. Yeah, just be you.
Thank you so much, and well, they'll be happy to hear everything. Good luck for this season, and thank you for this interview.
Thank you. Thanks for listening too. Bye.